This is the final week of Spring Equinox for Magical Readathon, and so we have some reading to do. But first, I got some very exciting book mail that I cannot wait to share with you all. And oh my god, the fact I'm feeling the book and I'm like, oh, okay, I need to get my emotions in check. And he didn't even know what he was doing, but I knew what he was doing. And he said that and I was like, oh my god!
Hello friends, it is 11:59 p.m. on April 30th.
And when you're reading a series, when do we get to pick up? Like, can't believe this is how I'm starting out the vlog. Hey, starting off a vlog on a Monday, proud of me. But I have the most exciting, I'm so excited to open up this package. And so, hey y'all, welcome to another vlog. This is probably the last, because it's the final week of April. This is the final week of Spring Equinox for Magical Readathon, and so we have some reading to do. But first, I got some very exciting book mail that I cannot wait to share with you all. I have been waiting for this since April 2nd when I placed the order, and I'm so excited. I really hope that this is everything I think it's going to be, because literally, okay, so anyways, look at it first of all, packaging, love it. I got some book mail is a point from the Crafty reader. First of all, this packaging looks like it's gone through a lot. I mean, with the amount of times the expected delivery changed, it has gone through a lot. Okay. Please be everything I need you to be, please. Oh, whoa, there's so much. Okay, first of all, yes, hand-printed note. Okay. Kalia, thank you so much for your purchase. I hope this custom copies makes a wonderful addition to your collection. If you can, please leave it. Of course I will. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's also a small gift. Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. Oh goodness. It's candy and stickers. And I'm so happy. I might as well be a child. Okay. This is a magnetic bookmark. The purpose of life is to find maturity, exactly. And then we got some stickers. Of course, bookish. This one has words and it says, I like big books and I cannot lie. Same. So there's that and that sticker and then candy. Which is so cute. I love small store. This is packaged so beautifully. Oh my god. Hold on, I need to take a picture. I'm not ready to open yet. 1 second, I have to take a picture. And I didn't feel like grabbing my camera. So this is on my phone. I'll be right back. I need to take a picture. Okay. I'm sorry guys. But can we just get into it? Because look at this packaging. It's so well done. And oh my god, the fact I'm feeling the book and I'm like, oh, okay. I need to get my emotions in check just in case, because technically I don't know how these books are going to look in person. So I need to get myself in check and not have too high of expectations. But can we just talk about the packaging? So well done and so pretty, and I don't know what to do because I don't want to ruin it. Okay. Usually I'm so impatient with packaging too. I'll just be ripping it. This I don't want to. Wow. Imagine how beautiful it has to be for me to... Oh my god. I don't know which book is the first book and which one's the second. We just gonna have to do it. Oh my god. Is there a note anywhere that tells me which one's which? No. Okay. It's okay. Okay. Oh god, okay. I have been waiting for this so okay. Love that. She was like, no, for real though, you're going to be surprised. Okay. Okay, hold on. Now I'm like, they both need to be at the like same step. So let me unpackage this one too. The wrapping paper on this one. Okay. Sorry, packaging. Okay. Stop saying okay. I'm annoying myself. So I know I must be annoying y'all. Oh, this one's blue. This one's blue. Okay, this is the first one. This is the first one. Okay. Hold on. Okay, there we go. This is the way. Y'all need to see it. Okay. So I got Strange the Dreamer. It's even better in person. Look at it. Oh my god. Oh my god, the paint comes out so much better in person. I didn't realize it was like a foiled paint or whatever on street. Oh my god. I didn't realize it was like a foiled paint for this part of the design. And it just looks so much better in person than it did in like the digital. And it has a little more. But you know how when anyone is like, the example is a digital mock-up, so in person it might not be exactly as you see there. Like that's why I got nervous. Yes, also like, you know, it's one person doing this, like painting this and taking their time to paint this. So of course it's not going to be like in theory it shouldn't be perfect, but it is. It is perfect. Like imagine being this talented. I can't imagine. But anyways, if you like, as you can probably guess, the second book that was a part of the package is, oh my god, Muse of Nightmares. Oh, I let you all see it first. Oh my god. Okay. I'm obsessed. Oh my goodness. These are my everything. Oh my god. Okay, so fun if you okay, I don't even know how to phrase this, because how do you not know that I love Strange the Dreamer? But Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, like my favorite books ever, absolutely a comfort read for me. And I'm gonna reread them at some point. I had started a reread when I was sad earlier in the year and then just never finished it. But like Muse of Nightmares, this one in particular is very special to me. Like I love Stranger Dreamer, I did, but like the story in this book and the way the story was told in this book, and just like wow, did my characters stand out even more and even greater in this book. I just loved it so much. I did end up loving this one more than Stranger Dreamer. Even though like literally they're both so beautiful and so great, I love them so much. But like Muse of Nightmares, like for those of you that know where the name Muse of Nightmares comes from, that character is literally my everything. I love them so much. Like that is my baby right there. Like but I really wanted the hardcovers of the books, and but I wanted the hardcovers of the editions that I have in the paperback. So you know, I don't feel like grabbing it, but because you all know. Maybe I'll put a picture here. Who knows? But I wanted it in that edition, and those are out of print, very hard to find, and very expensive for those people that actually do want to sell it. There's also a I think was it the Bookish Box or some company did like a special edition of them, but that was before I had read Stranger Dreamer, and so I didn't know how much I loved it, and I'm very sad I didn't get it. But like this makes me so happy, because like if I was going to get this edition, like this is still beautiful for the story that's in here. Like I totally understand why this is this. But I just wasn't really feeling this cover all too much, especially in comparison to the other cover. But then you add this, and like how could I not? So yeah, I will leave a link to the store in the description, or yeah, because there was other books that they did, but yeah, I'll leave a link to this set and then also a link to the store in the description. One thing I wish, and this has nothing to do with the store, which is like at all. These copies of the book, these are like a more matte finish versus this one's glossy. So I wish that they had made this glossy as well. But again, that has absolutely nothing to do with the store and everything to do with it being like a regular hardcover of Strange the Dreamer. Nothing to do with the Crafty reader, which I'm so appreciative and so happy. So thank you so much. Thank you to me for buying it, and thank you to the Crafty reader for doing this amazing, amazing work. I just so excited. But yeah. Alright, y'all. I'll update y'all on what I'm reading this week. Either later tonight, because I need to take a shower. Like real bad. Like I literally just got home from work. So I'm gonna take a shower, and then maybe I'll update you on what I'm gonna read for this week. Or maybe I'll do that tomorrow. We shall see. But hi. Welcome to this vlog. You shed too much for this. Coco, listen. Get down. Come here. Can you come here? I want to read. We've been cuddling for 3 hours. I have 1 hour left of my book. Can I read now? Don't say anything if I can read. Thank you. Appreciate your sacrifice. Okay, but I asked permission and you said I had permission, so yeah. Hey y'all, it is Wednesday now. Please ignore the chaos that is behind me. Well, it's not chaos, it's literally pillows. And then I just got off of sprints on my channel, so I have a bunch of books behind me as well. But the pillows aren't pretty. But let's talk about what I'm reading, shall we? I just didn't want there to be too big of a gap between when I introduced the vlog and then now, because I was about to go to sleep, y'all, so it was about to be a big gap. Anyways, so earlier this week I did finish The Deal by Elle Kennedy, and I loved it, you guys. So I have officially passed my alchemy course. Yes, I read other romances this month, but The Deal has such a special place in my heart. Like, I was smiling, I swear, for the entire time reading this book. I mean, there were some, like, moments that were, like, sad and, like, serious. So I wasn't smiling during those. But, like, literally, I'm gonna say, like, 90% of the book, I was actually physically smiling. Garrett brings me so much happiness. And I'm mad that his name is Garrett because that is my cousin's name. Like, I was gonna say my little cousin again, but he is in college. But that's my cousin's name. And, like, I don't like that. But Garrett in this book makes me so happy. Like, I just want a Garrett so bad. Like, his patience with Hannah, his, like, love for her, the way he talks about her. Oh my goodness. Just, oh my goodness. Why is he so cute? And there was one part. Is this a spoiler? Let me think. Y'all, I have been avoiding this book because I was like, it's just gonna remind me of college. I don't want to be reminded of those days. I don't. Who wants that right now? Like, whatever. And it didn't do that at all. It was so perfect. This book is so perfect. Y'all, when Garrett got me, was exactly on my Kindle, page 152. They were at the bar, and he said, I'll be your bodyguard and your bartender, and most importantly, your friend. I promise to look out for you tonight, Wellesley. And I almost cried. Like, and he didn't even know what he was doing, but I knew what he was doing. And he said that, and I was like, oh my God. Oh. And then she was like, oh. She was like, you won't let anything bad happen to me, will you, Garrett? And he said never. And I was like, thank you. Oh my God, why is he so cute? Like, what? Like, what? Anyways, I need to buy the physical copy of this book because I want to reread it, and I want to annotate all my favorite moments when I reread it, because this book had no business making me this happy. I wanted Garrett so bad. And I loved Hannah as a main character. The only thing I do wish is that, like, when it came to, like, her singing, I wish there was some way somehow we could have, like, been a part of that more, if that makes sense. Like, I wish it was a bit more descriptive, because I had been really it had been really building up to the spring. Nope, we're in winter, or they're in winter. It had been really building up to the winter showcase and her song and everything. And I wish I had just had more parts of her song, whether it had been like even a few lines of the lyrics. That would have been really nice. Well, we did get a wait, did we? No, I don't feel like we do. They just like El Kennedy basically just described the atmosphere and like the feeling of the song, but I do wish we had gotten some like lyrics, because for Hannah to be like a music major and for music to be such a huge part of this story, I wish that there was more instances in which I got to see her like composing and singing the music. Like, she was singing it, but we didn't get any lyrics. I did really wish that we had gotten that, just to like add that extra piece, just because she is a music major, and like it was such a huge part of her story that I did wish that we had gotten like lyrics at least. Like, and I don't like, and like, let's face it, when there are lyrics in a book that are like original lyrics or whatever, it's not like I'm reading it in the tune that the author like wrote them in or anything, because how the hell would I know that? But it's still just like an added piece that does make things great. And which brings me to overall what I really loved about this book is that this book literally hit so many tropes that I absolutely love and adore. Like, so many. And I'm not gonna go into them because just experience it. Just experience it. When I was on the live with Sydney, she had mentioned that people say that this book is very cheesy, and like, I'll just go with cheesy or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, it's very tropey. Like I said, it hit every trope that I love, but it that didn't take away from the story. Like, it made everything so great, and it made things cozy for me. That feeling of hitting every trope that I love, like, to the point, like, towards after the middle of the book, we were still hitting tropes, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, I had given up on wanting this, and yet here we are. Like, I didn't even consider this for this story, and then it popped up, and it was just like, oh, I love this damn book. So much. Like, so much. I love this book. Which is so annoying. Because how dare TikTok be right? How dare y'all be right? I just, how, and I not listen. Okay, in my defense, y'all see what the book looks like. Like, what? How would I know? How would I have known that this wasn't going to be any, like, it screams dull. It screams average. And so I was expecting an average read, and that is not what I got. I got the coziest, sweetest, greatest thing ever, and I cannot wait to continue the series. I'm trying so hard not to immediately go into The Mistake, because I'm pretty sure that that is the next book for next month, and so I want to read along with Sydney, but I want it so bad, especially since it's Logan. Like, I need to know. I need to know. If you know, you know, but why I need to know, but because I need to know. And yeah, that's my, also, I think another thing that had me very nervous about the book was that, okay, trigger warnings, both characters have their battles that they're going through. This book discusses very heavy topics like sexual assault and child abuse, and like parental abuse, like parents abusing their children. So, very important. I would say, I don't want to say like abuse isn't a huge part of the story, like parental abuse isn't a huge part of the story, because it is. But I do, like, for me, the trigger warning that was the most like was the sexual assault, and how that was brought up, because at the beginning it annoyed the crap out of me, because it felt very shock value-y. Like, it was just like, it was the hard, it okay, they kept saying at the beginning, and I was just like, like, because the way it was brought up, it was just like, at the beginning, okay, I need to preface this, like, at the very beginning, like, I swear, page 1, they, Hannah said, I was, like, my case, or something like that, and then, and it was very alarming. I was like, ooh, okay, that's a part of this, but she moved on. But then anytime in the beginning she would mention her assault, it would seem very random, and it was always like, it wasn't like they didn't use sexual assault as the word. It was always, and that always took me out of the moment, because it was just so shocking, and like, okay, I don't know why I'm jumping now, but it was always so shocking, and honestly for me very alarming, because I was like, okay, is this how it's going to be mentioned the entire time? When are we going to get to the point? Oh my god, like, how is this being handled? Because I got very nervous of how this is going to be handled based on how it like began being dealt with. So definitely a trigger warning for this book, because it is a huge part of this book. Ultimately, we did finally start getting discussions of the assault that Hannah had gone through, and had gotten background on it, and then had found out more about how it impacts her today, and how it impacted her in this story. And I felt like it was nice. I do wish that it was handled better at the beginning, because it did keep taking me out of the moment of being like, is this for shock value? Like, what is going on? And also, but also I do think that, like, anytime it is the word, like, anytime it is the, like, hard word, not just like sexual assault, that automatically just has me like, whoa, ooh, okay. But I think that has more to do with, like, the fact that as a society, that's not the word that is used more often. Sexual assault usually is like the politically correct version of the word, or like the word, like the way the word is more widely, or the way the topic is more widely discussed as like sexual assault. but sexual assault can encompass so many different things and actions. Yeah, like I said at the very beginning, it was very alarming. I got nervous as to how it was going to be handled. But the romance was done so beautifully and so great. I love that it was just ultimately completely centered in trust and trusting one another, and how they didn't have like just it was so cute. Like they didn't have trust for other people, especially romantically. Neither of them had ever had someone they could trust romantically, and then they found their trust in each other, and it was just so cute. I loved how they communicated with each other. I felt like it was done really well. There is a miscommunication trope in this, but still, for the majority of the book, I feel like their communications with one another was very well done. Um, because when there was a miscommunication, besides like one time that was the major conflict, all the other times it was dealt with very quickly. Like it was resolved quickly because one of the characters would be like, okay, no, we're not just going to sit on this. What are you saying? So I did really appreciate that. And yeah, I love this book so much. I gave it 4.5 stars, by the way. When I reread it, I feel like it is going to be a 5-star because at this point it does have like very happy, like it has a nice memory alongside it for me, because I did really appreciate participating in this like readathon with friends and getting to like read it as like a group, like with a group of people, which made it very special to me. So I feel like when I reread it, it's going to bring back those like cozy feelings for me. And also the story is already so great and amazing, and so 5 stars will probably happen. But as for now, being a little bit more aware of everything, or not aware, but a little bit more critical, I guess, it's probably like a 4.5. I don't know if it's quite a 5. I don't know what would be a 5-star if not this, but I don't feel like it's quite a 5-star for me yet. I still have my demonology course that I need to read. So I am actually currently reading Queen of Shadows. I am reading along with the audiobook. And yeah, I'm actually liking this one. But like I'd mentioned in the last vlog, I believe something that frustrates me with SJM is that I feel like the books start off so slow, and slowly but surely the interest that I had developed in the book prior to it starts to fade because it's just such a slow start. This book didn't do it, and I'm actually so excited because it's the first book in the series that I actually loved from the get-go. The very first chapter of this book is so, like, it was so well written. Like, I was like, oh my god, like what did I just get myself into? So I really appreciated that. I'm on chapter 14 now, I believe. Yep, I'm on chapter 14 now. I'm still enjoying it. I'm very excited that I'm still enjoying it. And yeah, people that I want to have vengeance are getting their vengeance, I believe, or at least planning it. And people that I wanted to get got are about to get got, I believe. Also, I think in the last vlog, I accidentally said that I love the relationship between Manon and Arabin. I met Manon and Abraxas, so let's get that straight. I love the relationship between Manon and her Wolverine. I think it is the cutest thing ever, and I love how connected they are with one another. Arabin can choke. Cool. Happy we agree. And if you don't agree with me, what? Like, where did you come from? Why are you over here? I didn't ask for your energy. Um, and then I am still reading Parable of the Sour of Octavia Butler. I love this book so much that I don't want to read it. I want to be reading it forever, but of course, the more I read it, the closer I get to the end, and I hate that idea. But I am now, I guess, chapter 12 would count for this one. I don't know. I'm on page 135. I love it so much. I love Lauren as a main character. I love her hope and how she embodies her hope, because it's not necessarily a hope that is driven by, what is the opposite of like a pessimist? I mean, I guess an optimist, but I mean, hope itself is optimism, so that's not necessarily it. But I guess her hope isn't grounded in like naivety. which I feel like is a way that hope is often embodied. It's like people will say, like, you're so naive and that's why you're able to believe in the best in people or whatever. And that's not what her hope is based in. Her hope is based in reality and realistic things that could occur if only people put more thought and love into what they do and like considered other people more. And I just love it because it's a very obtainable thing. She's, yeah, her hope is based in things that are obtainable if only people would behave like, decent human beings and like with empathy for other people. And so I just really love it. I love her hope and optimism and how and how she expresses it because it just seems realistic, especially in a world like this that is just so sad and so filled with sadness. It's nice to be viewing that world from Lauren's viewpoint because ultimately she is seeing the world for how ugly it is and how devastating it is, but she also has hope that things can be better. And I feel like personally for me, working in the nonprofit industry, and I like my whole job is basically being like there are completely flaws within our system that target like black and brown youth or like black and brown people. And that's like my whole job to just be like, there are flaws within the system and we need to change things. Like effectively, immediately, as much as we can, we need to change things. Let's figure out how to change things to aid those that have been victimized by the system or marginalized from the system. And that very much feels like the mindset of Lauren of being like, okay, so there are flaws within our society. There are flaws that are occurring, and things are only going to get worse if we continue to just let things occur. If we just allow our lives to just continue as they are, things are going to continue to be worse. However, if we start to analyze what has caused us to be in this place and then change course or then work around that and try to effectively combat this like environment that we have created, this like negative harmful environment that we have created, like literally the environment. I'm not just talking about a feeling, like literally the environment. If we try to offset that with our behaviors, if we try to offset the like culture within our society, we could do great things. We could do amazing things. And I just love that. Like, I love reading a character like Lauren because I feel like I understand her. Not necessarily that I even relate to her, but I definitely understand her. And even when it comes to, like, her hyper empathy, yes, it's, like, depicted oftentimes with, like, physically her feeling things, like pain, like physically feeling pain that other people are feeling. But also, there was one line in which she was like, I honestly just wish that more people were hyper empath like I am because I feel like the world would be a like better place if other people, like, she basically was just like, there would be a lot less senseless crime if other people would be forced to feel the pain of those they're victimizing. And I was just like, I have literally thought this thought so many times. Like, whenever someone says something like hateful or spiteful, whenever I'm like working and I think about how the system is literally built to target and victimize black and brown youth, anytime that I'm just like, the world is crap. I'm always just like, and if people just like would put themselves in other people's shoes, or if people could just empathize more with those they don't quite understand, but at least try to understand, if they would just try to understand another person in their perspective, their point of view, their pain and their struggles, it would just be so much better. But when you're in survival mode, you're not necessarily thinking about how your neighbor's doing. You're thinking about how can you make it to tomorrow and the day after that. And when you have family, how can my family then make it to those days with me? And oh my God, it's such a great book. It's such a great book. I think I want to do a separate video for this too, like a separate review vlog thing for this one. It is a 5 stars. Like, there's no way I can feel this way for a book and it not be a 5 stars. Like, when I tell you guys, if I wasn't doing this for Magical Readathon, I would be reading this book for such a long time. Not because it's bad, not because I don't want to read it, but because I love it so much that I never want it to end. And I am trying to lean more in with myself and just allowing stories and books to be paced at the pace that they need to be read in. Like, I don't want to rush myself with a story for the sake of completing a book. Like, no, this book deserves to be read for like ever. And I love it so much. Alright, so if you guys remember, my guild is Mind Walkers and my calling is to be a Mind Mender. The classes that I need to pass, which means the books that I need to finish, have to fit under Alchemy, Spells and Incantations, Psionics and Divination, Restoration, and Demonology. I have passed Alchemy, Spells and Incantation, and Restoration. For Alchemy, I just completed... Oh, I was about to grab it. I don't have it. For Alchemy, the prompt was to read a book featuring a romance. For that, I have just completed that class, and that is The Deal by L. Kennedy. For Spells and Incantations, I needed to read a short essay or story collection, and for that, I read We Are Never Meeting in Real Life. For Restoration, I had to read a book featuring a healer, and for that book, I read This Close to Okay. Now, I just have 2 more books to read, and that is for Psionic and Divination, a book set in the future, and then Demonology, a book with the word shadow in it.
Hello, friends. It is 11:59 p.m. on April 30th, and I have completed Queen of Shadows. It was a feat, but I did it, which means that I have actually passed all my classes for Spring Equinox to be a Mind Walker. I will explain how I got about that. I'll do the actual wrap up later, but just know I have read Remina, which takes place in the future. So I had to switch Parable with Remina because there's no way I was going to finish Parable and Queen of Shadows today with all the work I had to do. Well, not work, but like all the things I had planned. But yeah, I did it. Mirror minutes to spare, but I did it. And I'm going to go sleep because I'm not going to lie, I was falling asleep many a time, which is why we made it all the way to 11:50 before I finished. But, whew, child, I did it. And just like actual school, I procrastinated and passed with flying colors. Love that for me.
Alright, hello guys. It is officially the end of Magical Readathon, and I just wanted to give you guys an update of what I have read, because I do realize I haven't had that many clips updating you guys when I finished books, because yeah, some things had to be changed and rearranged. So, reminder, for Magical Readathon, I am in the Mind Walking Guild, and my calling that I was called to was mind mending, which means that the classes that I needed to finish were alchemy, which means to read a book featuring a romance, spells and incantations, which is short stories or essays, psionics and divination, which meant that I needed a book set in the future, restoration, which means that I needed a book featuring healers, and demonology, which means that I needed a book with the word shadow in it. I have actually passed all of my classes. In the prior Magical Readathon vlog that I did, I have already completed spells and incantations, and then restoration, right? I had already completed spells and incantation and restoration. For this vlog, I completed the deal prior to starting this vlog, I believe. Or no, I was wrapping it up in the last vlog and had completely finished it in this vlog. And I chose the deal for my book featuring a romance, meaning my alchemy class. I chose this because out of the many romances that I have read this month, this is my favorite one. I just found myself smiling so much with this book. I thought it was just the cutest thing ever. Also, I did complete Queen of Shadows. Thank goodness. I literally spent, which is why I couldn't update you guys yesterday, on April 30th. It took me the entire day. I had not been prioritizing Queen of Shadows, and it absolutely bit me in the butt yesterday because I had to dedicate my entire yesterday to reading this book. That means when I was doing my errands, I had to listen to the audiobook to and from my errands. I mean, literally, if I was not physically reading that book, I was listening to the audiobook, and it absolutely drained me. So, yeah, that's why we didn't get an update yesterday. That's why we didn't have clips yesterday. It was just it was a lot. It was a lot. So I did end up finishing Queen of Shadows, which is a book with the word shadow in it, or in the title, and that is my demonology class. The book that I chose for psionic and divination was Parable of the Sower, which is a book set in the future. I am still currently reading Parable of the Sower. It's not a book I want to rush. In fact, it's a book I want to read for as long as I can. I think I will be finishing it very soon, maybe today, although we are celebrating my sister's birthday today, so probably not today. But if not today, then tomorrow. I just really want to dedicate, I just want to be in the world and immersed in the world for as long as possible. For Parable of the Sower, I think I've already spoken about this, but I just find that the hope that the main character embodies is just so amazing, especially in the world that she is in, because it is a very sad world and a very depressing world, and yet she still finds a way to have hope within it, that there is a way to overcome the trial that they're going through, and there is a way to do better. And yeah, she's just very realistic in that way, and I just really appreciate the main character for having hope in a world that seems so hard to have hope in, especially with her having hyper empathy. Like she's feeling pain all the time because of the world that she's in. A lot of people are feeling pain, and she is feeling their pain, and yet she still finds it possible to hope, and she embodies her hope in like very realistic scenarios. She's like, I see the world for what it is, and yet I just still believe that we can fix it, and I think that's very admirable and beautiful. Also, just again, personally for me, the book focuses on like a religion. I'm pretty sure the main character is creating, like right now she's just like writing things, and her dad, so the main character's dad is actually a minister. And the religion that is highlighted a lot in this book is Baptist, which is the religion I grew up in, which is the religion I grew up in. And yeah, it's interesting to see how the main character discusses her relationship with God and discusses how she sees God. And I, again, had that background of like Baptist as well that I could like call onto. And I just really appreciated seeing how the way she views religion, and I'm pretty sure the main character, because I do have the graphic novel, and I'm pretty sure the graphic novel actually says that the main character is creating her own religion. I haven't quite seen her start doing that. In fact, she's very scared to share with people her thoughts and perspective when it comes to religion, because it is slightly different than what has been preached in, like, what her father has been preaching. So she's scared to like share that, but she does have times where she's like, oh, like literally there's just this one quote that she repeats over and over again, and it's just like, God has changed. And there was one scene in which she was like, it was just a horrible scene, and she just kept repeating, God has changed, God has changed, and she was like, I don't know why that line comforts me so much. And it's so weird because like I'm reading it and I was like, every time she's like, God has changed, I was like, honestly, it's a very comforting thing to read. It just like, I was like, honestly, that's just a very comforting line. Like, I see why it's comforting you in these moments, especially with what she was going through. So that was really great. Yeah, haven't finished it though. Like I have mentioned in this vlog, and I believe in the other Magical Readathon vlog, I actually am working on a vlog alongside it, and for that vlog, I completed Remina by Junji Ito, which does take place in the future, and although it doesn't quite say what year it takes place in, and honestly I was a little nervous because I literally had to scramble yesterday because I was like, there's no way I'm finishing Parable today and Queen of Shadows, and I have no other books with Shadow in it, so I do need to finish that class. But Remina, although it does not say exactly what year it takes place in, the manga is talking about a planet that was discovered by this scientist, and the scientist got to name the planet and he decided to name the planet after his daughter. The planet then starts to come closer and closer to Earth, and as it's coming closer to Earth, it is destroying other planets that are in its path towards Earth, and people are becoming very frantic because they're scared that this planet is going to come and destroy Earth. Now, like, granted, we haven't gone through this yet, so that seemed very futuristic to me, but I also just wanted to like absolutely make sure there is no year quite attached to it, but they have flying cars, and again, it's just, there are certain things that just felt more futuristic about this. So yeah, it is set in the future. I am pretty positive of this. I am pretty positive of this. So yeah, I read Remina for that vlog, and I'm just going to count that for my Psionic and Divination class because it is a book set in the future. I don't know what future, but it's definitely set in the future. I don't know how far in the future, but it is definitely set in the future. I gave this book 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed it. I think this one, out of all the other books I have read from Junji Ito, so if you remember, I have read Gyo. I'm still in the middle of Tomi. I've read Censor, and now here with Remina. I feel like Censor and Remina were like I think actually Remina and Censor were like the 2 most different books of Junji Ito. I also have Shiver. I haven't quite read that one yet, but again, that storyline seems a lot, or not storyline, it's just a collection of short stories that still feels more similar to Tomi and Kyo, whereas Censor and Remina seem more embedded in like a contemporary world while still featuring like horror. I don't know how to describe that, but like both of those have very clear messages behind them that are kind of like blatant and in your face. And what I really liked about Remina was the like mania that Junji Ito depicted, both in the drawing and the art in the manga, but also just in the story. Like, there were so many times where I was like, or not so many times, but like literally the entire book. So I guess so many times, but the entirety of the book, because there wasn't a time where I wasn't thinking this. Like, okay, maybe at the beginning when it wasn't happening, but the second we hit the points of mania, I was like, how did we get here? Like, I just kept looking at characters saying things and doing things, and I was like, how did we get here? Because your logic isn't logicking, and yet literally everyone believes this to be true. What? Like, wow, blew my mind. But I found that very interesting and like just super cool. So yeah, I passed my classes for Spring Equinox. I'm very proud of myself. I'm also very surprised, but this is also why I love Magical Readathon, because again, I didn't complete the TBR I had set for it by like 1 book, and yet somehow, some way, just because I'm doing another vlog, I ended up finding a book that fit within that prompt. So I just feel like these prompts within Magical Readathon are so obtainable and so great, and I like thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't wait to participate again for autumn. Is it equinox again? Is it autumn equinox again? Is it an equinox? Repeat the question again, Kalia. What the fuck? Okay, alright, so I just realized I forgot to talk about my feelings on Queen of Shadows. Let's do this. So I'm not going to talk about what Queen of Shadows is about because it is, what, the 4th book in a series? That would be rude. But I will say that finally I am getting it. I mean, kind of, sort of. I still probably am not as invested as a lot of people are, but Queen of Shadows is so much better than the previous books. I think I feel like with what my issues were, SJM fixed a lot of them in Queen of Shadows. For example, a huge problem I had been having with Air Fire in the previous two books. Okay, so the problem I had with the first three books was that after the first book, I don't understand why we have to reintroduce the world. Granted, Selena found herself in different areas in life, like she found herself in different phases in her life at the beginning of each book, but it just was such a slow start. And when you're reading a series, when do we get to pick up? It would be a slow start, and then it would pick up at the end of the book, and then I would go into the next book, and it would be a slow start, and we'd pick up at the end of the book, and then the next book, slow start, pick up at the end of the book. Like, what? At what point? At what point do we just keep a good pace throughout? Like, why are we going like this throughout the entire freaking story? That's so annoying. That is so annoying. Another issue that I had with Air of Fire was that the men in this story were so whiny and annoying, and a lot of the stories blended together. Like, it was just a lot of repetitive situation. It was a man being sad and whiny about his situation. It was a man I can't even talk about that because that's a spoiler. But like they were just just so whiny, and it was the women of the story that had to carry them on their like basically carry the entire story on their backs, because it was like, yes, the women are like, well, no, because one of the women wasn't like, one of the women, yes, she was going through some things, and was kind of like brooding like the men were. However, the other woman, at least, was like, she was doing trials and tribulations. She was going through things that was at least different. Granted, do I understand why she was in the story when I was reading Air and Fire? No, but I was like, something different at least. Like, at least it's something different. So there was a lot of like stories that like, first of all, so many stories that intersected with one another because people were in the same area, like they were in the same like location. Then there was a lot of stories that just repeated themselves. So whether they were in the same location or not, like their brooding, their personalities just were way too similar. And it's like, okay, like what, like why do we have different perspective if I'm going to continue to read the same story over and over again? This is when the pacing was very annoying, because I'm like, I just read this. Names were changed, and the thing you're mad about was a little bit different, but I just read this. So that's annoying. Queen of Shadows, I finally understood why there were different perspectives. I was like, about dang time, this makes sense, because I was like, oh, we're actually getting different sides, we're getting different perspectives, we're getting different people with different investments into the story. And this was so interesting. Also, the thing that I have been waiting for since I read Assassin's Blade finally freaking happened in this book. And I just, like, wow, so rude. So I will say that if I probably would have read it in publishing order if I had known, because reading Assassin's Blade first is a 100, like, I'm pretty sure this is why I could not stand the first three books. First of all, Assassin's Blade was written after, I believe, I believe it came either before or after Air of Fire. So the writing style and the the writing style is quite different. In Throne of Glass, first of all, was like, so, it was like, what is happening? But again, like, that was Sarah J. Maas's like first book. It's whatever. Get over it. Like, there was one point where I was like, how many times are you going to repeat Selena's name? Because God forbid we forget what it is. Like, I promise you we won't. And so that was annoying. So we went from like Assassin's Blade. Sarah J. Maas had more practice, had gotten more into her writing style. By the time she had published, by the time she had written Assassin's Blade, that when I had to then backtrack to her writing style in Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, I was like, this is dumb. I hate this. So then, again, as I was going down and then back up and down and back up, my interest was going down, because the second she would pique my interest at the end of one novel, it would then go down at the beginning of the next one. So I was never actually intrigued to keep going. Also, for those of y'all that actually read this as the books are being published, God bless you, because every single character, every single person that SJM has mentioned in the previous books, including Assassin's Blade, ended up being very important in Queen of Shadows, and that blew my mind. I said, oh, I forgot about her, because again, mind you, I had been losing interest, so I haven't read prior books for like months before I had read Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows together. And so there was times where I was like, I've read this name before. I know this person. And they would be like, oh yeah, that's homegirl that did that's homegirl that did the X, Y, and Z. Cool. I forgot about you, sis. Like, get it. So shout out to that. Like, at least then it's like, okay, no one's just like a wasted filler character. Everybody makes sense. So that was interesting to go through. And I am happy that my brain eventually was like, oh, this is homegirl that did X, Y, and Z, or that's that mother that did, I don't know why I'm censoring myself, like I don't cuss on this channel, but I was like, oh, that's that motherfucker that did that. Cool. Good to know. Like I said, something that I've been waiting for since Assassin's Blade finally happened in Queen of Shadows. And if you have read them, in the final, the final story in Assassin's Blade, someone was the last perspective that we got. And I immediately was like, huh, I hate you. So go ahead and think about what I would want to happen to somebody I hate in an assassin's world. Cool, I'm glad we agree. Also, this character was just whatever. So I do believe, like, when it came to the different perspectives, the different POVs, they finally made sense, and that made the story so much more enjoyable. Again, SJM had, like, literally the second Queen of Shadows opened, I'm not even gonna lie, I had started the book off with audiobook because after Heir of Fire I was like, oh no, we're not doing this again. So I had started with the audiobook and I was doing something and that first chapter hit and I said, oh shit, let's go. Let's go. Okay, writing. Okay, perspective. I said intrigued, atmosphere all the way there. Let's go. And she actually kept the pacing for the entire book. Yes, it did go up at some point, but at least the initial, like, other books, it was like the pacing would be here, and then at the end it would go up here. At least this one was like here, and then at the end it went up. But like, we were already there. I was already so intrigued with the story, so invested in the stories. And I also believe that the relationships in this story was so much better. Like, it was just so much better written. Like, I actually understood why people were invested in one another. Before, I was like, this chemistry is so off. Finally, chemistry made sense. And relationships have, like, just in general in this book, relationships have become deeper. And I just could really appreciate that in this book. So yeah, I ended up giving this one 4 stars. If like, I'm going to take a break because I had, like I mentioned, I read Queen of Shadows all in one day, and I can't. If I wasn't reading that book physically, I was listening to the audiobook, and I just, like, I can't right now. I can't continue the story. I don't think I could read right now. So I'm just gonna take a break. Probably, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but before I go into the next story, I will be taking a break. Well, y'all, I'm going to go celebrate my sister's birthday with my family. So, bye guys. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Please press that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next one.